Today you're going to be learning how to make scrambled eggs, and the cooking method we're going to be learning about is using the method of cooking is going to be using a frying pan, and then the second method is going to be a double boiler where we take a pot, we put a couple centimeters of water in it with a bowl over top to allow the steam to come up and cook it. So I'm going to explain those as we go along. So the first method I'm going to use is the frying pan method. So I'm just going to go ahead, I'm going to take a little bit of olive oil or vegetable oil, whatever you have at home. Put that into the pan like so. And then you're gonna wanna use like a heat-proof spatula if you have something like this. If you don't have something like this, you may use like another type of hard plastic spatula that you might use for frying at your home. Spread the oil around so that it's evenly distributed so it doesn't stick to the pan. I like to use a non-stick frying pan, which I'm using here, with a Teflon coating so that the egg doesn't stick as well. Helps. I'm using a stainless steel frying pan, not ideal for making things like scrambled eggs. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna crack our egg while this is starting to warm up. Make sure you turn the heat onto a low heat. Don't let it cook too hot or get too hot too quickly. I'm gonna turn this right down to power 1s because it feels already quite warm. To crack my egg now, I'm gonna hold the egg on either side like this. I'm gonna tap it on a flat surface, turn it over till you see a crater form into it. When you do that, you're gonna put 2 thumbs inside the crater, and then you wanna be able to open it up and then turn it upside down. You wanna try cracking the eggs without breaking the yolk, because tomorrow, that's gonna be the objective. Okay, so again, hold on the side, tap, 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 thumb in the crater, open it up with 2 thumbs, then turn it upside down and drop the egg inside. Now I like to add in about 1 tablespoon of water into my eggs, and that's just gonna loosen them up and make them a little bit creamier as I scramble them up. The next thing you're gonna do is you're going to whisk up your eggs, like so. And you wanna make sure you give a good whisk because the egg white has big clumps of egg white if you don't whisk them up properly. So you wanna make sure you give it a really good whisk for some time. Alright, that looks good. So now I'm going to move over to my frying pan. I'm just going to pour all of the egg directly into the frying pan immediately. And then I'm going to use a heat-proof spatula. And I like to hold it with my thumb on one side and my 4 fingers on the other side so I can push the egg along inside of the frying pan like so. And as I do it, you can see there are blankets of eggs starting to form. So each stove is going to be a little bit different, but it's important to cook it slowly. If you cook it too fast, what happens is your egg wants to dry out and it won't be very nice and creamy. So see how I'm doing this? I'm just moving the egg around the frying pan from side to side and flipping it over. So I'm going underneath of it and flipping it over and going from all over the frying pan, never leaving one place for too long, so that it cooks it up. And you'll see these nice blankets, I like to call them blankets, of egg form inside the frying pan. So you can see here, it's looking really nice. You want to make sure it's not super runny anymore, but it's still nice and creamy. So that is looking mighty fine. So there we go. I'm gonna take that out and I'm gonna put it on a dish. I'm gonna scoop out my eggs very nicely into my bowl or plate, and then you can season them with a little bit of salt and pepper to taste. You could put some bread beside it, serve it with some grilled tomatoes or mushrooms if you want to just put a little bit more oil in your frying pan, and then serve that next to it with some toast. That'd be a really nice breakfast to serve for yourself or your family members. All right, so the first method is done. Now we're gonna look at the double boiler. So for the double boiler, I've got a pot here. I've just put about 2 centimeters of water, about 1 thumb or a couple fingers of water inside. And I'm just gonna put that onto the stove, and I'm gonna turn that heat up to a medium heat to bring that to a boil. Then what you're gonna wanna use is a stainless steel metal bowl, or if you have a glass bowl, that will work as well. Glass is in like you can see through it, not a ceramic one. To place over top. That's going to go over top of here. You want to make sure when you're using a double boiler that the bowl never actually touches the water. Okay, you want the steam to come off the water, heat the bowl, and then that will slowly and safely cook whatever it is you have inside your bowl at a much gentler rate. So we usually use these things for like melting chocolate, because chocolate can burn very quickly and very easily. So if you do it over a double boiler, it's a lot safer method of melting chocolate. So my water's almost come to a boil here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put that over top, and I'm gonna prepare my eggs. So again, I'm just gonna get out my measuring jug, my eggs, tap, 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 turn over, find the crater, put your thumbs inside. Make sure your thumbs go inside the egg before you open it, and then turn it upside down. Again, try to crack the eggs without breaking the yolk. Tap, 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 thumbs inside, get down low, and then release the egg inside the measuring jug. After that, what do? We added in a tablespoon of water. And then we're just gonna whisk that up really well. If you don't have a whisk, you can just use a fork, or you could use a whisk as well, but I actually find a fork works really, really well for whisking up these eggs inside our measuring jug. So we're gonna take this egg. We're gonna take this egg now and place it into the bowl to cook up the egg at slow, gentle heat. So just go ahead, pour it in. And then what I recommend is just getting a towel, because the steam might come outside of the bowl. You can hold the edge of the bowl, and then you're just gonna do the same thing by pushing the egg around and through the bowl to heat it up. And you'll see the egg start to form blankets again inside of the bowl. Just make sure you get all areas of the bowl. And if you don't have a bowl or a glass bowl or metal bowl like this, you can just stick with the frying pan method. But I wanted to show you both methods because this whole point of this unit is to teach you about different cooking methods, so you're familiar with them. So this is called a double boiler, or some people will even call it a bain-marie, which is a water bath. But I think it's more specifically, it should be called a double boiler because the heat is going underneath. It's not sitting in the water. You can see here it's already starting to cook up really nice and creamy. There we have a nice scrambled egg, as you can see. So I'm going to take this and then place that onto my plate as well. And then again, you can season it with some salt and pepper and serve it up to your family. It shouldn't be wet, it shouldn't be leaking water or anything like that. It should be fully cooked. In that sense, okay? It should still be nice and creamy, so if you see in here, it is nice and well-cooked scrambled egg. I love serving this on toast for breakfast with a side of bacon or anything what you like best. All right?